Thanks for tuning in. We're Julie and Dana, two moms navigating marriage and motherhood. But this is definitely not your mom's podcast.
Okay, hey guys, it's Julie.
And Dana, and this is Not Your Mom's Podcast.
No, it ain't.
All right.
One day I'm going to say that part.
No, it ain't.
And this is, no.
Oh, Not Your Mom's Podcast, yes.
And this is Not Your Mom's Podcast.
Oh
Hey,
my
did I
gosh.
do it good?
Yeah, that was good.
Did I enunciate?
You sounded like a radio host.
I did?
Kind of. Okay.
A friend used to tell me I used to mumble, so that's why I'm trying to enunciate.
Yes, I like it. All right, let's get right into it.
Let's get right into it.
We have a list of
We
things
do?
this time.
I'm not looking.
Okay, so I will look.
1, 2, 3. Don't leave us yet. I swear we're prepared. Well, this is
Okay.
also good about this. We don't usually have a list. We just kind of like go.
Oh, I have a good starting point.
Okay, a starting point.
All
would
right,
be more
so
like it.
we'll start with some motherhood stuff.
Okay.
What is something that you used to judge moms for before
Oh
becoming
yeah,
a
I
mom?
like this one. Okay. Well, I definitely want to hear your point too. Definitely the iPad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to be at dinner with
Yes.
Trevor, and by that time I had Callie, but she was older.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they just weren't as popular then. I don't think people like brought iPads. Like I think those like what are the little things that you hold the music in?
An iPod.
Yeah, an iPod. That was what was popular then. And like the Switch, not Switch, they're like little
Mm-hmm.
DS, the
Yeah.
DS. But anyway, we wouldn't have that restaurant. Anyway, I'd always like look at them and I'd be like, gosh, like their kids can't sit there at the table and they have to be on an iPad.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. Here comes my kids. And I'm like, yes, you will have an iPad so I can have a conversation with somebody and not be annoyed.
No, 100%. So I remember when I was waitressing right before I had Lily, and I remember as a waitress
Yeah.
being like, oh, I will never let my kids have an iPad at dinner, because I used to
Yeah.
hate when like I'd be like, okay, what do you want to eat? And they're just like zoned into their iPad and they're
Yeah.
not answering me. And I was like, oh my God, like teach your kids social skills. You
Yeah.
know, I was so judgmental towards it.
So, me too.
And I will say, like, I do try
Mhm.
to not let them have too much screen time when we're at a restaurant. Still, I do like them to look the person in the eye and like order. I absolutely like instilled that. But with that being said, sometimes life is sucking the life out of you and you just need 10 minutes to eat a nice meal and talk to your husband and
Yeah.
let them be quiet, or talk to your friend and let them be quiet. So I am all for the phone or the iPad now if I need that time, and I
Yeah.
don't judge others for it.
Yeah, me too. Same thing with you. Like, I definitely still want to instill like them ordering, saying please
Yeah.
and thank you, making eye contact. It's not that it's a free for all, but I'm just saying like there are definitely times where that was my dog, where I'm like, here, you can do this because I need to have a me
Yes.
time. I need to have a moment. And my kids are
Yes.
older now where it's not as much of a problem. When they're toddlers, man,
It's survival mode.
it's survival
Whatever
mode.
works.
Yeah.
There was something else I always used to judge, and that
Yeah.
was children on leashes.
Oh,
Children on leashes.
wait, people still do that?
Yeah,
Oh.
for sure.
I mean, no
Um,
judgment, but I guess I haven't seen it in a long
Yeah.
time.
So I used to be a big judge of that. I used to always be like, I can't believe you'd put your kid on a leash. You're treating your kid like a dog. What happened to just like holding
Yeah, well,
hands?
some adults like that, so.
But like in theory, I never put the girls on a leash, but when we went to Disney one year, Jack was like 2 and he
Mhm.
was in his running mode, and I
Mhm.
put him on a leash, and I remember being like very hesitant towards it, but it was nice because it gave him freedom to kind of walk around a little bit without being like on top
Yeah.
of me, and also like my hand he could let go of so easily, and you're in those crowds, and if you lose them, you
Yeah.
lose them. And let me tell you, when we were there was a mom, and I will never forget her scream. It still like is piercing through my ears. She lost
What?
her child. And it was literally a second, like the kid let go of her hand and ran, and the crowd was so crowded. It was like by the Main Street thing, that she couldn't find him. I
I'd
don't know
freak out
whatever
too.
even ended up happening, but like, so ever since that day, I was like, you know what? I will never judge a mom who has her kid on a leash
Yeah,
again.
because every kid's different, and
And
yeah,
it's like a cute backpack, you know?
yeah, and I've been around Jack when he was younger. He was
He's
he would-
wild,
He was
yeah.
wild, and so in a place like that,
Yes, where you
I
can
could
lose
see
them
it
in
being
an
helpful.
instant and it's huge. I'm like,
That's
for
one
it.
of my biggest fears too. Is like them
Yeah.
just being taken like that, and you turn around, they're
yeah,
gone.
absolutely.
So I get that one. That one's a good one.
Yeah, so those are like the
Hmm.
two biggest ones I would say, other than like normal, just like normal judgments of things you thought you wouldn't do that you do, you know,
Yeah.
like letting them.
I guess mine would be like I'm not sure exactly what annoyed me, but like just shitty eating.
Oh
Like
yeah,
snacks and packaged food and processed. With
Mhm.
Callie, I was so like organic, and even when Styles, we've talked about this before, and not judge, but like, Lunchables
Yeah.
and kids that eat just processed food. I would just kind of like look at that and be like, I kind of make that
A little
eye.
judgment,
Yeah, a
yeah.
little judgment. I'm just like, oh God, my goodness. I'm glad
Yeah.
my kids are not eating that way. But yeah, now it's totally different. Now
I
I throw
know.
shit at them. I'm like, here is something. Just be
Here is
quiet.
food.
We do try though. Like I have a reasonable dinner like every single night. Like,
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner when it's at our home. It's the best we can do. But we also have kids they go straight from school to dance.
Mhm.
And I'm
We make
sorry.
do.
Yeah, we make do. We just sometimes it's gonna be a shitty shit.
Yep, I agree. All right, what is your guilty pleasure?
Oh my gosh. I do like well, I like to take my bath every night.
You
But is
do.
that
I
a guilty pleasure? No.
don't
Sort of
think
selfish, I
so.
guess.
Like,
Well, no, you go. Then I can like go off
okay.
that. What's your guilty
My
pleasure,
guilty
Dana?
pleasure, I would say, is like trashy TV.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's so mindless, but like I am weirdly like addicted to it. Like I'm like, if you know what it is, I love a really good, actually like thought provoking show, but I
Yeah.
don't have time for that usually. Where like trashy reality TV for me is like I could just throw it on and like do dishes and it's in the background. If I miss a part, I miss a part. I don't really
Yeah.
care and like whatever. So I like am definitely all about that. And they just started on TikTok, this girl, she made a series. Her name is Risa Tisa.
Uh-huh.
She's actually like, it's crazy. She got 3.2 million followers in less than a month
Whoa.
because she started posting a 10-minute segments of a story of this. It's called Who the Fuck Did I Marry? And it's a story of like how she met this guy online and like all this stuff unfolds. And she starts like learning that he was faking everything and like,
Is that a true story?
yeah, it's her
Oh,
true story of this guy she married a few
okay.
years ago. And she tells it and it's just
Well,
so
that's not trashy
interesting.
TV. That's
Well,
interesting.
I was saying like that's like another thing is like I guess like social media, like anything like that.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's like juicy gossip. It was interesting, but it's
Yeah.
like you're listening to someone else's life. Like, what am I doing?
Well, and it just goes to show that a lot of people are like, I don't watch Real Housewives, or whatever. Like, okay, there is a place though for trashy TV, and
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
totally.
Like, one of my really good friends said the same thing. She's really smart,
Yeah.
really artsy, really creative, and um, she's like, when I come home from work, I just want to numb out.
Yes.
And I want to watch. And she's like, not only that, like it is interesting, even though it's fake psychological like stuff and drama, your brain still thinks like, oh, okay, how would I react to that? That was
Yes.
clever. That
Yeah.
wit, that quickness. How is she playing? You're watching
It's
facial
so opposite of your
reactions.
life
Yeah.
too that it's like
Yeah.
intriguing. Like,
Yeah.
these people have so much money, or like, when I watch Love Is Blind, it's like I've never even like. I mean, like, it's just such a different thing of your normal life that it's just like intriguing.
Well, I think it's great. And Trevor and I, one of the great things about Trevor and I is that we watch the same shows together. I know a lot of people like
Yeah.
different things to watch separate. Well, he's down for anything I want, anything girly. Like we love RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah,
Like he will
see,
watch
yeah.
that with me.
Yeah.
And what is it? Naked Attraction, I think.
Yes.
But same thing. I'll come to bed and he's like, oh, I really want this one movie. And I'm like, oh, I say the same thing as you. I'm like, I don't have time for that. My brain
Right.
wants to numb and not
Mhm.
think. But then there's also a place for like if we have like a few hours. the
Oh,
kids
for
went to bed
sure.
early.
I
was
love
like,
a good.
oh yeah, let's get into this one series we've always wanted to. But like,
Yes.
there's definitely times when it's 10 o'clock at night and I'm coming to bed and we're in the mood to just watch nothing but trash.
Mhm.
For sure. So
Totally
thank
down for it.
God for the
That is
trashy
totally my
shit.
guilty
Like,
pleasure.
yeah, bring that shit on. Oh, okay. One of my guilty pleasures is getting the big magnifying mirrors and staring at all my pores and
Oh,
getting my little
picking 'em?
tweezers and picking. Yeah. Well, I'll pick
I'm a skin
everything.
picker, especially if I'm
Totally.
anxious.
And then getting my eyebrows that I couldn't see because I'm so blind, but getting my
Mm.
magnifying glass and really getting those.
Yeah,
But
that's
definitely
true.
picking. I love going and looking at all my blackheads and just getting
Yeah.
them.
No, you're right. I actually do that too. I definitely go in the mirror and like I notice that when I'm like stressed out, if I
Me
want to numb
too.
out, I'm just like in the mirror like
Me
"Ah."
too. And then I come in and Trevor's like, what are you doing? I'm like,
I
nothing.
know, I
And it
know.
looks like I've been bit like by like a billion red ants. He's like, are you picking this is always what he says. He's like, are you picking your face again? I'm like, yes.
That is so
I'm like, don't judge me.
funny. That's
Yeah.
so funny.
We always say that. I'm like, don't judge me. Or like we're eating something, and the
Yeah.
other person comes in.
Yeah.
Do you ever do that? Do you ever do that
Oh,
where you like
100%.
smush it into the pantry real quick and pretend like you were getting out something else?
Yes.
But why?
I don't
Like,
know.
who gives a fuck?
I don't know. It
Like,
is
we're
funny.
human.
You're right though. It's totally different.
And then when we're with our kids, we're like so strict. They're like, can I have this? I'm like, no. But then I say no like maybe 20 or 30% of the time. The other percent of the time, like, for like, I know what you're going to say. And I'm like, she's like, can I have dessert? I'm like, yeah, you can have dessert. Because I know that feeling where it's like,
yeah.
that wasn't enough. I want some fucking something sweet now.
You know what's funny? You just made me think of something else me and John always things too that you're
What?
like, why? How you said like throwing something in the pantry.
Yeah.
So like we also will both, if like one of us disappears, like let's say we're like cleaning or we're doing something,
Yeah.
right? And like he disappears or I disappear, whatever. It's gone both ways. But like let's say he disappears and I'm like, where did he go? Like we're cleaning and I'm like, I'm gonna find him. So I like go upstairs and then he's like laying on the bed and you'll see him like jump up for a second as if he's doing something.
Yeah.
I've done it too. And it's so funny. It's like we're chilling for a second, but like you almost feel guilty when like you're supposed to be doing something, you know?
God, I don't think I've ever sat down to chill
I know
like
you
that.
don't ever do that. So I knew
But
you wouldn't relate to
I
that.
wouldn't relate to that, but I think that's funny. I
Yeah.
at least do the pantry thing or like the snacky thing with
Yeah.
my kids because like if they come down for like glass of water,
Oh,
it's 10
that's
o'clock
it.
at night, and if they hear the
Yes.
crinkling of wrappers,
Yes.
it's like they're like ding squirrel.
And my
They're like-
dogs.
and and dogs.
They're
too.
all there.
But they're all like, "What are you eating?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "It's my tongue. Nothing. I got something in my tooth."
Yes. I've even hidden like if I wanted like really good chocolate. Like I
Yeah.
was like, I want this. I'll hide it from them.
I
I'll have a
know.
little hiding spot up top because otherwise they'll eat it all in one sitting. I will eat one little piece.
Yeah, you need
and make
that.
it last for 10 days.
But do you get mad at anybody in your house, especially John, if someone's taking the last one? I get mad at Trevor all the time. I'm like, what happened to the last chocolate bar that I was saving for myself that I was looking forward to nibbling on all week?
Yeah,
He's like, I didn't know that I wasn't allowed to eat that.
Yeah, my friend at work was just saying that too. That happens to her a lot.
I mean, I'm not mad, but I'm like,
know,
oh
yeah.
man, I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's bullshit. You're like, I don't get any of my own stuff.
Yeah,
and
you're
I
like
wanted
marching
that.
there and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I got that
Yeah.
last, because you just need that little fix and you're like, open up, you're like looking around for it.
So
and you're
true.
like, I thought I put it right here. And you're like, Trevor, where did you see that chocolate piece or whatever? And he's all like, well, yeah. And I'm like, what happened to it? He's like, I ate it. And I'm like, you ate it? I get so
It's
mad.
true.
Not that I was supposed to have that, like I was supposed to claim
not
it.
like
It's
yours, yeah.
community, but in my mind, I was looking forward
John's
to it.
brother used to label everything that was
Stop.
his.
I can't with people. It's like the people with the poop sign.
Yeah, he used to literally. It would be you'd open like his parents' fridge and it would be like Eric, Eric, Eric. It'd be like all these things labeled, so no one would touch it.
I would still touch it.
He was the kind of kid though that would like eat like we'd go to the diner and he'd order like 2 or 3 cheeseburgers and then a dessert. Like he house food. Like I've never seen anyone house food.
Oh my, house food?
House like downed it.
Oh wow, I've never heard of that.
Oh,
Word. Okay. I always say downed it. Okay, yeah. Well, I want to meet him and I definitely want to eat his food while it's labeled
Oh,
and
he'd
see
be
what happens. I
pissed.
want to see it.
oh yeah, that would make him
Or
angry.
I would replace it with something that wasn't the original.
Like with and he doesn't like normally like healthy foods really. So like if you replace it with like a vegetable or something, yeah, no,
I know.
yeah, I think it's really funny.
I think that sort of happens with like roommate stuff. I remember like my one roommate would always buy the Rice Krispie treats, but the chocolate ones, like the cocoa one. Excuse me. My cat just jumped in my lap. They're like the little mini ones.
Yes, I
and
know
she'd
you're
buy a
talking about.
box. Well,
Yeah.
I couldn't help myself. Like, especially when I was on my period, I would just like eat all of them, and
Yeah.
like she'd go to get one, and I'd freak out. It'd be like anxiety that day. I'm like, I've got to march into like
Yes.
and replace her box because I just ate all 3 of them in a row,
Yep.
and there was the last 3, and I'd
That's
always feel
funny.
really bad about that. But I didn't have a roommate for long, so
Oh,
not
well,
because of that. I just didn't have roommates very long.
I was just thinking about this with college
Yeah.
actually.
Something
Do
you
you
missed?
remember? Well, not something I missed, but like, do you remember going out to clubs in like college days and there was photographers?
Yeah, in downtown Orlando there would be.
Isn't that funny? Like thinking
Yeah.
back now, like and like you'd want to be in all the pictures, and then
Yeah.
like the place. Excuse me, that's my coffee. And then the place would post him like the next day and stuff, or they'd put him on like
Yeah,
their
you would, like,
Facebook
look
page,
around.
and you'd like look around, and there always was like club photographers. Like, what a funny job that is
I know.
to
it
take
was
picture
like,
of a bunch of drunk, trashy people
I know,
dancing
in
and
our little hooker
grinding.
dress.
Yeah.
I remember like we'd be excited if something got posted. Be like, oh my
Oh,
God, did
yeah.
you see your picture?
Totally.
It's like the way you surf like Instagram now to find out if something's been tagged or
yes,
whatever.
I
here and
remember
there.
hearing that one time. Actually, like a girl found out her boyfriend was cheating from a club photographer because a picture was posted and he was making out with some girl in the background.
No way.
So funny.
Oh,
But I
that's
also
good.
we also used to carry our digital cameras too,
Yes.
and I'd have those in my purse all the time
Listen,
too. and
I
take a
lost
ton of
like 3 of
pictures.
those drunk. Like I'd leave them up like on a bar or
Yes.
someone would steal
Oh yeah,
it.
they were tiny. They were easy to lose.
You've got to go. Yeah.
I wish that I could. I actually wonder if I still have any.
Do you know that I was offered twice to be on The Real World in a drunken state out in the clubs?
What?
Yeah.
How have you never told me that?
Because it just occurred to me. I remember that because that night I lost my camera because I was like wasted and I
What
just
happened?
got
How
it for
did
my
you get
birthday.
offered to be on the Real World? Like
probably
to go back with them?
Oh, just to get auditioned for it.
Oh, audition.
Like there was some person recruiting.
I got you. I think you meant like they were all
Oh
out
no, a lot of
clubbing.
people get recruited, but that's where they go. It's like clubs, and I was like dancing on the stage, going crazy, and like hanging all over people. And she's like, You should
Oh,
audition.
I'm surprised you didn't.
I don't know. I was just like young and dumb, and I'm like, that was too much effort or something.
True.
And I also probably then didn't want to be. I don't know. I just didn't want to be on Real World. I thought
Oh,
maybe people would
you know what I
portray me in like the
loved?
worst way.
Jersey Shore.
I loved it too.
I want to go back to those days.
Jersey Shore was a great show.
It was so good.
Like, I've never seen talk about, like, I don't know anything about sort of that culture and that side
Yeah.
of the United States, like, grew up in Saudi and Florida and stuff, like,
Yeah.
and I've heard the accents and stuff like that, but, like, I've been mesmerized by anybody from Jersey, like,
Oh,
ever
it's
since.
so
That
funny.
and the
I
Long
mean,
Island medium. Anything
those are
with those
really
accents.
like heavy
I know.
versions of them, but like, oh, it was so good. Most of them weren't even from Jersey, actually. There was like 2 from New York, 1 from Staten
Yeah.
Island, like,
Yeah.
but I
Staten
loved that
Island.
show. I remember us all like there was a group of my friends and we would meet up all the time on those nights and
Was
we
it
would like
realistic? Like, to what the people acted like? Or
I
no?
mean, I guess a little bit, yeah. Like, yeah, I guess a
Like,
little
the way
bit.
they wore their hair and the way they had the
Oh,
tan
yeah,
and
I
the way
used
they
to
had
wear
to
my
go to the
hair like
gym.
that with the
No, I'm talking about the
bumps.
guys.
Oh, yeah. That was into for like those were like douchebag guys. But yeah,
Oh, how
for sure.
funny.
And like the tanning and the
Yeah.
all
I'm
that.
not sure I'd want the guy that I'm with to be into tanning beds, but that's
No, me either. I mean, I really wouldn't have wanted to date any of those guys, but I loved it. That was like the first trashy reality TV. I was actually just watching JWoww on an interview on a podcast, and she was saying that like
JWoww. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What a blast from the past.
the producers actually didn't want them to know how famous they were after season 1 because they thought that was only supposed to be a one-time show. It was supposed to be like the
Oh.
Real World, where there was one season of those people, and then they were going to get new people every time.
Okay.
But people loved them so much that they decided to keep
yeah,
them.
they were great characters.
They
What
were
was the other
great.
one with the long black hair? Scoonie or Shoonie?
Snooki. Snooki.
Snooki.
So they kept them. So the producers didn't want them to know how famous they were because they wanted to keep that like very like reality show of
instead
like realistic
actors
people.
wanting to be actors.
So she said that one day it was like season 2 or season 3, and they literally didn't know that anyone knew who they were still. And they were in Miami, and one of the paparazzi was following them and was like, "Did you hear President Obama like referenced you guys yesterday in his speech?" And she was like, "What? Like President Obama knows who I am? Like that's crazy." And that's when they realized like they took the
And
world
then
by
they-
storm.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
We still talk about them.
Yeah.
That's wild. I love that you know all this like info, this like back info on stuff like that.
I
It's
know.
cool that you think it's fascinating.
Oh, I think
love
it's
it.
so fascinating. I think
That's
it's
why
very
you're good
cool.
at this.
You know what I find fascinating? Average people who become famous.
Yeah.
My mind is like amazed by that. How you can go from being an average person living a normal life and all of a sudden, bam, in a year or 2, you are like multimillionaire. Everyone
Yeah,
knows who you are.
true.
Like it's a wild concept to me.
Yeah.
And that's what I find interesting about influencer fame.
Yeah.
Because like, okay, so do you know about the Tarte brand? I don't know why I'm asking you. I know you don't know about it. So, you know Tarte, right? The makeup brand?
Yeah. I love their mascara.
Okay, so every
Man
year.
Eater. It's called Man Eater. I wear it all the time. People ask me all the time.
Oh, well, there you go. There's a plug. Take us to Bora Bora next year.
Yes.
So,
And a lifetime
Tarte
supply.
does these luxury vacations for influencers once a year. What? Yeah, like I'm talking like you've never seen. Like they go all
Whoa.
out.
Okay.
So this year they took them to Bora Bora, and they did huts over the bungalow huts over
Yeah.
the water.
oh man,
They
I want that.
filled their room with Tarte products, with all other products, with all different things. And they had parties for them. And it was just like, oh my God, it was so cool. Anyway, 2 of the people who went, usually it's makeup influencers that go. But this
Okay.
year there was 2 people that went that I follow. And they're
Okay.
mom influencers, like they're mom TikTokers.
Okay.
What I find so fascinating is one of them, her name is Avery Woods. She was like only 2 or 3 years ago, she was a nursing school student becoming a nurse and a mom. She kind of had like a similar story to me. Like
Yeah.
she went back to school when she already had kids and all this stuff, whatever. Average person who just blew up. And it's
Wow.
like, imagine like being in nursing school one day, like busting your ass. Not saying she doesn't now, but like, and 3 years later being on a Tarte trip in Bora Bora, all paid for on a private jet going there. Like, how
It's
does
exciting.
one
It's like
compete?
winning the lottery ticket, I guess.
It is, right? It's like
Yeah.
winning the lotto.
Although I wonder what it feels like to have because I feel like influencers have fame given and taken away so quickly, whereas like a movie star
For sure.
has been in it for years or something. They're just used to that lifestyle. With like an influencer, like
100%.
boom, you've got 1 million followers, 1 million views. All of a sudden, you're someone. But then, like you were saying, to keep up,
Mhm.
the competition is crazy. So like you went to Bora Bora and you're like, I'm the shit. Like people love me, and then you get home, you're like, okay, I'm back to a nurse and a mom.
Well, she's not anymore. She's a
No,
full-time
I know, but I mean,
influencer.
like, I'm sure it
Correct.
will
Yeah.
dwindle at some point,
Oh, I'm
perhaps.
sure it will. I mean, but you know what? It's so funny.
Maybe it's better that way because maybe like
Yeah.
keeping up with fame for a long time is too hard, and just having it just for a moment, you get to just like enjoy the
I
moment.
actually think influencer fame is really cool for that reason. That like
Yeah,
you're
that's
not
true.
known by everyone like a movie star. You can go
Yeah.
out to a restaurant and no one might recognize you. You might have 2 million followers and not one person in that restaurant might know who you are because you're in
They
a
know who
niche.
Dana is. I mess
But
with
like
her
you're
all the
in a
time.
niche, you know? Like so
Yeah.
only those people are going to know who you are. It's not like a Jennifer Aniston walking out where you
Yeah.
can't live a normal life.
As an influencer, do you think you're being the real you, or like the real you sprinkle with some acting, or like it's totally acting?
I think a mix. I think everyone's
Because like actors and actresses are like totally acting. They're not them. I mean, maybe they are in one of the roles or something and they can totally embody it, but like even still, like they are acting. They're getting paid to act. Whereas like some of these influencers, like at least I like the ones where someone's really being them. Like one
but you
girl was
never know if they really are.
right. Like one lady was talking
Yeah.
about, like, I'm a single mom with 4 kids. I don't know. Can someone give me help? Like she was about on the verge of crying. What pretty girl.
Mhm.
I'm sure she's famous. I don't know. And she was just like, I'm paying X amount for rent and I have 3 jobs. And now my rent just went up. She lives somewhere on the west side where it's like more expensive. And she's like, I just don't know what to do. Like, what are you guys doing? I'm doing everything I can. And it went like crazy. And I loved her, like, I don't know, realness. And I like wanted to
Yeah.
help her.
Yeah.
Even though I have no money either to
Okay,
help her. But
well,
like
actually, that brings me into my next topic of side hustles.
side
Let's
hustles.
talk side hustles.
Let's talk side
because
hustles,
we all
Dana.
need them in this day and age.
Dana, what are your side hustles right now?
All right, so right now, I am a nurse,
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah.
That's where most of my income comes from. I also do wedding and event
Mhm.
content creation.
Which I think you do so good. I love
just
your
booked
editing.
2 weddings yesterday. I have 2
Yeah.
more. I have like 5 or 6 this year so far. And that's like a cool side hustle that I kind of like just came up with a
Yeah.
few months ago.
Don't you do that for Airbnb too?
Yes, so I've done it for it started with I was doing it for Airbnbs and businesses. I was
Mhm.
creating content for them to put on social media,
Mhm.
and then I was kind of like, well, this is really fun. I wish that like I had this at like a party. I'm always the one who's like the friend that's taking videos and pictures, and I was
Yeah.
like, what if I just like make this into a little job? So yeah, and it's like decent money and I really like doing it. It's
Mhm.
fun to edit. It's fun to be there. I know I can feel what I wanted as a bride and like the angles I wanted and the
Yeah.
type of
You have
thing,
that
like type
vision.
of look I wanted that I'm like, I just feel like I
Let
don't
me
know,
take
it
care of
works.
you.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I
Like,
got it. Like put your phone
this
away.
is my
I got it.
gift.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
like, yeah, do this for
So
you.
that's fun. And then I do social media,
Yeah.
obviously.
Which has been amazing. Like all those clothes you got from Halara.
yeah. So I've
This
get
is not a
lot
plug. I'm just saying,
more-
like, how
Yeah.
amazing is to get to like a whole new wardrobe, and
It is
especially
cool.
since
I
you
get a lot of gifted collabs.
change sizes and stuff.
Yeah.
Now
I
you
get a
don't even
lot of
have to,
gifted
like-
collabs.
yeah.
Which I'm super thankful for. And then I make
She
some
says
money.
to me the other day, she's like, "Do you want a couch?" Like, so you see how we're sitting here on chairs. I'm like, "Excuse me, what?" She's like, "I mean, I can get like a couch. I just have to do a video." And I'm like,
Uh,
"What?"
Company offered me a couch,
Yeah.
yeah, but I had nowhere to put it.
Yeah.
I decline a lot of them. But this was the most money I ever made on social media this month, which is not crazy, but I made like $1,500.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
want $1,500. So
Yeah,
I
it's
think
still
that's
like
amazing.
a solid little side hustle. So yeah, so
It's
I
an
think I'm
extra
at
dance
like
convention for you. Are you coming to New York?
oh my god. No, I don't think so. But so yeah, so that's like I have like 3 streams of income right now. I really want like a 4th.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to get there.
I know. But I'm hoping that we will get there. I'm hoping that this becomes a source of
Yeah.
income soon and all the other things. But let's talk side hustles for you. What are some that
Oh,
you do?
goodness. Okay. Let's see. I teach fitness
Mhm.
a couple days a week at some of the nicer community clubs in the area. I also teach dance at the dance studio my kids are at. And I'm an artist, so I paint big abstract texture stuff and
Mhm.
I do commissions. And then I don't know if you could see the dog down here, but I pet sit, which my husband
This is her
loves
biggest
so
side
much.
hustle. I feel like the one you're most involved with.
Yeah, it is because there's always
There's
animals
always
that I
an
have,
animal here that's not yours.
and they sleep with me
But
and
it's
everything.
so smart. Like if you are looking for money,
Okay, yeah.
right?
I was gonna say pet sitting.
Like
I want to train
pet
my kids
sitting
to do
is
it.
great.
Almost every household has a dog or a cat,
Yes.
if not both, if not 2 dogs. Okay, so right then and there. All right, and everyone goes out of town. Everyone has an emergency. Most people go out of town at least once a year. And let's talk about people that in this area are older. So they're now flying and traveling to see their kids. Like that's, like Brady Girl right now. She's going back to see her kids and help with her grandchildren and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And they do that all the time, or they have like a
Yeah.
wedding or a
Yes.
golf tournament or something.
No, it's really smart. It's
So
a really
it's
smart side hustle.
easy, and I'm here during the mornings most of the time and things like that. And they just become part of our family, and my kids love it. And I think it's maybe not easy, but it's smart if
Yeah.
you're desperate for money, like, you just need to start pet sitting.
Yeah. I just saw a mom. I love watching creative people like come up with side hustle ideas.
Yeah.
I just saw a mom and she started doing a laundry service out of her house. So she'll come and pick up your bag of laundry, she'll take it home, she'll do it that whole day, she'll fold it, she'll bring it back to your house. Kind of like how laundromats do, but she's a little bit cheaper. And she said she's maxed out on clients already. She just started.
That sounds like the death of me, though.
I hate doing laundry, so I would hate it. But like if you are a stay-at-home mom and
Yeah.
you want to be a stay-at-home
What
mom,
amazing service, though, because we just were
genius.
complaining about how I'm drowning in laundry
Yes.
every day, and I even remember you
Yes.
posted something about someone help me come up with a system.
I'm drowning.
'Cause no offense to everyone that's type A and has a system, that system fails Dana and I because life happens,
Yeah.
and even though we wanna do a load every day, some days, like Thursday nights, we get home crazy late from
Mhm.
dance, she has worked all night and hasn't slept or whatever, it's just we can't do a load every day, it's not systematic like that
No.
because every single day is different.
I struggle so much. A lot of people were saying to have each person assigned to a day, which is kind of cool and I might try it, but
With the kids,
it's
you mean?
again a lot of organization. Yeah. So like you have like
Oh, I
Sundays
love
are
that!
Lily's load and Mondays are Violet's load and Wednesdays are Jack's load and
Where they
only
have
their
to see it
clothes.
out, where they don't let it sit there for 2 days and get all, like,
It
gross
doesn't
and
even
moldy.
necessarily have to be them doing it.
But
It's
that's
a
a good life
matter
skill.
of it is. It's a matter of like only one person's laundry is going in so you don't have to sort it after.
Yeah.
So it's kind of smart, but here's the problem. My household is a freaking shit show and
Yeah.
everyone just gets naked as they walk through the
Yep.
door and throws their clothes all over the place. So then I'm
Yep.
still sorting beforehand.
Yeah. Oh, I think I might try
I
that.
know. I think I might try
Style
too.
says he's always looking for ways to make money, and I don't know if I'm just gonna, like, not pay him or pay him, but I think that they need to learn that, and this brings me up to another point that I've been meaning to, like, ask you
Yeah.
for a while now, which is it's, like, been in my head. You know how I'm always like, "Oh, we're so busy with dance and everything
Yeah.
like that," and we talk about this all the time. What are we doing? What happened to our, like, our fine farm life? And, like, I
100%.
posted a video on those thoughts, and it kinda not as
It
viral
did
as
well.
yours,
Yeah,
but
I saw it.
it did well, and people were like one lady posted a comment, she's like, "Yeah, don't do it." No, not don't do it. She basically said, "This is what happened with my 3 kids. They were always in sports, camps, whatever," and she's like, "Now they don't know basic life skills." And I know a lot of
Mm.
people are gonna be like, "Well, then teach them along with that." But here's the thing is that when my kids get home, it's like 8 o'clock at
It's
night.
so true. It's
They
just a
have
fight to get to
only
bed.
time to eat and
Yeah.
sometimes take a bath or shower before they get to bed. They don't have time to do laundry, learn how to wash dishes, clean up their room, and I'm not spoiling them because in the moments we do, I'm like, "You need to go clean your room." Like,
Mhm.
on the weekends that we have available, and it's not like this every weekend, you guys, and that's but it is pretty stacked for a
Yeah.
good, like, 3 or 4 months. It's pretty stacked, where we're just kinda going through the motions there, and, I do worry, though. What are these life skills that, like, I need to be
You're
teaching
right.
them? And what are we missing out on so far? Like, am I behind on some life skills with
I
that?
watched this mom post a video and she said that
And is
like
that so important?
she
Because you'll learn it anyway. I didn't learn any life skills till I was in college, and I'm fine. So what are we talking about here? I mean, I was nasty, but then I
okay,
learned to be not
well,
nasty, and
I
now I'm pretty
think
not
that it's
nasty.
the struggle to get better if you didn't do it, right? So, like, if you start cooking and cleaning and organizing in your younger years, it probably comes more natural to you. It's probably
Okay.
like a easier process. Like for me, I struggle with that stuff.
Yeah.
I do. I struggle with organization and staying clean and being on task like that. I don't know.
But you're all right.
I mean, my house is really bad. A lot.
Yeah. Well, we're busy, and you have one more child
I
that's
know.
younger than me.
I
Or
know, it's hard. But anyway, I was watching this woman and she posted that she doesn't let her kids do like hardcore sports. Like they could do like one little thing here and there,
yeah,
whatever.
it's definitely a
And
theory.
yeah,
It's
and she
interesting.
said like she gave her kids some tools and wood and they were playing in the backyard. They built a whole freaking playhouse. These children.
See, that's the life I want,
I'm
and I'm
like, "Oh
not
my god,
living
that's
it.
amazing." I
But then
know.
also, we can't also just because we want that life for our kids. I like that our children are little human beings too. My mom always said this, like they're little people, and I think we dismiss like what they want. I know we're
Mm.
supposed to like guide them and try to make the best decision as an adult for them, but like they usually know what they want. You know what I mean? I think that if you have a good relationship with them, they'll turn around and be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Or if you keep checking in with them and then, sort of measure and value with your, mine's daily. I do a daily check-in with my kids, like every single day. What's going on in school? How do you feel about dance night? Blah, blah, blah. Is this still something you want to do? Like, but all the time. So I don't know. I just feel like, don't you think they'll know?
I think it's very hard to know what you want if you haven't experienced it.
Right.
So for them, like, do I think that they would turn around and be like, you know what? I don't want to do dance anymore. I want to like play outside more and learn how to do these things. And no, I don't. I don't think they'd come up with that because they haven't experienced it.
And they're also living out of fear too, which they think if I'm not in it, my friends are going to get better
Mhm.
and I'll be behind. And so,
Yes.
yeah, they're
It's
living
all
with a
they
little bit of
know. Think
fear.
about it. We've had them in there forever that like I
Yeah.
don't know if they know anything
Well,
else.
my kids are in other things too, though.
I mean, in the sense of like that's a big part of their routine though. Like
Yeah.
they don't know what life is like without dance.
I know.
And not that it's a bad thing. Listen, I've always told my kids that they
I
are
told you the other day,
welcome
I didn't know a
to
life without dance.
right.
And I
They are
very
welcome
much
to
enjoyed
leave
it.
dance, but I still do find so even if we were homesteading, farming, doing all
Yeah.
these things, I still would want them in at least one
Something.
structured activity.
Me too.
Even if it was once or twice a week, I think there is so much valuable
Yeah, we've talked about this
life
many
skills
times.
that come
Yeah,
from that.
me too.
Dealing with difficult people, learning how to listen to other authority figures other than us, like discipline, responsibility, like all that. I'm going to sneeze.
Working through being tired too. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, I have a feeling, them being able to like sometimes they got to get up just on those 2-day conventions. They have to
Mhm.
get up. They've been dancing all day and they have to
Yeah.
get up the next day. Just even dealing with being tired sometimes, whereas like some other young adults like
Yeah.
are like, ugh, I just can't like deal with life. I'm like, what
We'll
do you
never
mean?
know if we're making the right decision
No, we won't.
ever because we can't live two lives, unfortunately.
This worries me at night though, Dana.
I know, me too. It keeps me up all night. Don't worry. I am constantly debating what I'm doing with my life. So it's fine.
Oh my
It's fine.
gosh, though. I guess all you have is the moment though, right?
All you have is the moment. And you just
and
have
in the
to
very
keep
moment,
making
if everyone's
decisions.
happy,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know about
we'll
that
see.
one.
We'll see what happens.
Let's switch the subject, which
'Kay.
I've been wanting to ask people because I'm somewhere in the middle of like okay, this is talking about shopping and clothes. We
'Kay.
talked about in our last episode, like when do you get rid of clothes?
Yeah.
How long do you keep them? It brought me to another topic, which is like, what shops are people like our age and I guess demographics shopping at? I have all different kinds of friends. Some that like higher end, like they will spend, but they have a nice job and they make good money and they can afford that.
Mhm.
To people that will shop at Target like I do. To some that will just wear it, whatever, and then sell it on Poshmark or whatever it is. So they sort of like in the middle range.
Mhm.
And I'm somewhere where I guess if I had money, I'd buy a little nicer things, but I also don't really care about name brands. But I'm wondering if like I should because there's more value in having like, I don't know, good quality.
We've
So
talked
it's
about
like,
this like a capsule wardrobe type
yeah,
thing.
like so where do we go
Investment
shopping? Like
pieces.
where did we go
I
from?
don't
In
know.
my day and age, it was Wet Seal.
Yeah.
So where did we graduate from?
Contempo, 579.
5 all those things like that.
Oh.
Where do we graduate from after like in our 20s ish? What's the next shop? What's like an upgrade? Where do you go next? Because I still shop at Target. I love H&M.
You know, I used to love Target clothes and I feel like they really went downhill.
I mean, I don't shop there all the time, but like these jeans everyone kept asking about were at Target.
Oh yeah, that was a huge hit though.
And H&M, and then I'll roll into Saks too. Like we have an outlet here at Saks, and I might
Yeah.
find like a nice pair of
Do
jeans.
you know
or
I
whatever,
haven't
but
really like gone shopping in a very long time.
I know, and that's
I
another
do a lot
thing too.
online.
See, I can't do that. Oh, I do a lot of Amazon, but that's because I love being able to try it out and be like, this motherfucker doesn't work, and I
Yes.
can get to send it back. I
Yes.
order different two sizes.
Do you know what I miss?
But what?
I miss like going out with like a bestie and
know.
going to the mall and going into all of the stores, picking out a bunch of clothes and going into the dressing rooms and trying things on and telling
Yep.
each other like,
No one
yeah,
does
we
that
like it or
anymore.
we hate it or whatever.
Didn't
and
you
you're
do
like,
a post on this, or this was an idea for a post, which is
I don't
no one does
remember.
this anymore.
No one does that anymore. That is so fun.
Well, maybe they do, but I don't.
Or
see
like you're
it.
getting ready for like an event of some sort and
Yep.
you try on all different dresses and you're with your
because
friends.
people buy online now.
Yeah.
Which I guess is really neat too. But like I do miss going, even with my mom. My
Yeah.
mom and I would go shopping
before
together,
school
and I'd try
shopping.
on things, and like it'd be some like slutty dress, and she'd just be like, and I'm like, doesn't it look cute?
I know, and then I'd snag a thong and like throw it in the side so my mom didn't see it.
My mom didn't care if I wore thongs at all.
Mine did.
She loved everything.
middle
She was
school.
like, well, get it.
Oh my god.
She never cared about what sort
Well,
of
it's a
outfit,
dumb thing
makeup, or
to care
anything.
about,
I
but
think so too. It's a way to, yeah, like
it's not even an expression. I mean, a string up your asshole is not an
I meant the
expression.
makeup and clothes, but yeah, the thongs, like, who cares? I mean, even Freya
So
to this day
stupid.
wants to wear like a little bralette because she's like, it makes me like feel like I'm wearing a bra, and I'm like,
Oh
okay,
my
whatever, you do
god.
you. You don't have boobs, but if you
Yeah.
want to, go ahead.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
whatever they
So
want to feel,
funny.
and all of us feel that way. We all went through a phase where like we want to. Actually, some people would be like, I freaking hate thongs because it goes up my ass and stuff.
Well,
And
I
like
do hate thongs. I
hygienically,
did it
it's not
only
that good,
because
right?
no, it's nasty.
I still
I
wear thongs
only
though.
used to wear them because that was the cool thing to do back in the day. Like people would actually make their thong straps rise up a little bit above their jeans so it would show. So like I
I
was
think
like
I remember that. That's like
very
low rider.
very low to like very early 2000s.
Yeah, low jeans with a little bit of
Yep.
that string pop
It
out.
reminds me of like Christina Aguilera. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it was kind of a hot look.
It
I
is.
will admit to that.
I loved that
I can't
trashy
wear
look.
normal undies though because they bunch up when I pull like leggings and stuff off. And actually, I just don't even wear underwear. It's just
I
too
don't
much
wear
of a
underwear
bother
quite often.
unless I'm on my period. It's like a
Oh,
barrier,
for
one more
sure.
barrier
For
to the
sure on
other
my
like
period.
fabric, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have that
I mean,
tampon
I wear
string
them. I
dangle
would say
around
like
either.
I'm 50-50. If I
Yeah.
had like I certain things I definitely want underwear with, and then like there's times where I just don't,
Yeah.
or I don't feel like looking for them,
Yeah.
or digging through my pile of laundry.
Yeah.
Okay, so back
Back
to
to the shop.
stores.
Shops and stores. Where are you
Okay,
shopping
so
at?
I do a lot of online shopping. There's like a couple of boutiques that I really like. Willow Boutique is one of them, and
I've
this is
never
from
even heard
Blooming
of it.
Jellies. Like
Oh yeah, no, I've
some of
never
these
heard of that.
brands will send me stuff, so I'm starting to like explore different boutiques, which I like.
Oh.
But I've definitely found some boutiques online, and then I do a lot of Amazon. And I know it's really bad for everything, but I definitely place some Temu orders.
Oh, I've never used Temu. I've definitely used Shein, but I don't feel like
hate Shein.
Shein does not work for me.
No.
I've done it for the kids like once or
Hate
twice,
Shein.
but it's not
I
good,
find
right? It's like
Temu,
child labor or
it's
something.
terrible. I don't know. I don't know that anyone knows, but I think there's the assumption. But also, hate to break it to everyone, everything we buy from China probably has that risk, and we buy
Yeah.
everything from China pretty much. Like we're
Right. So it's like if you're
outsourcing
gonna be vegan,
everything.
go vegan. Like let's
Right,
not be
right,
halfsies here.
right. So
I
it's
guess
tough.
just do your part. I don't know.
I know it is
What are
tough.
here's it is. Like do what feels right for you. Like try not to be so, you know.
Well, it's tough. You know, we want right. It's a mix of you want clothing and you don't have a ton of money. It's hard
Yeah.
to afford it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely think Temu has better quality clothing than Shein. Not that it's like high end, but like it's
Oh,
better, but it's still
okay.
cheap.
Yeah.
So I've done a few orders there. I don't know, but like Amazon is like similar.
I do Amazon a lot only because I want to try it on and then return
Yeah.
it if I don't like it.
Amazon's just getting pricey. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
I used to be able to shop on Amazon and
No,
get like
now
a
it's like
sweater for like
ridiculous.
$15, and now it's like I feel like everything's
39
30
or something.
minimum.
Yeah, 30
30,
something.
39, 40, like
Yeah, and so now I'll put it in my cart, but then I like don't buy it. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna shop around now,
yeah.
and then I won't buy it. So they are missing out.
I've actually
Amazon.
found like decent pieces at Walmart once in a while too.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know of like a store
Mm.
specific. It's kind of more just like here and there I find things, but I think it's hard. If you know of a good place to go shopping
Yeah.
in your 30s and 40s that is like still not like old, I don't want to dress like older. Like I still want
No.
fun and trendy.
Yeah, me too.
Put it in the comments.
Put it
Let
in the
us know.
comments. I also need to know where to get a bathing suit for someone that's more
I
top
heard
heavy.
Cupshe.
Yes, I have a couple bathing suits from them. They're not bad, but I also feel like they're still not as
Okay.
cool or edgy, I think. And all the edgy ones are for like teenagers that like have no boobs or something.
Right.
I'm kidding. Some of the teenagers do have boobs, but like
Yeah, no, but
I
they're
need
perky.
something. Yeah, right. There it is. There it is. Like I need something that has adjustable straps here, and a
Yes.
lot of them will. But my problem is I need adjustable back here, and a lot of them don't. They just have that like hook, and I'm like, no, I need it to be tighter.
True.
It all has to get sucked in, pulled up, smashed
True.
in. Like that's
Okay.
how I need.
So you need
so
supportive but still like hot.
yeah.
Yeah. What's like why is that hard to find?
I don't know. And the rest I can deal with. I can just buy a different pair of bottoms or something. But I
Yeah.
need the top is like, do you like jean shopping? I hate jean shopping. You have to try on 5
I
billion pairs.
hate jean shopping.
I do too. I just rather not. I just want to wear like leggings or
Oh,
something.
I do like Old Navy's jeans.
Yeah, I have a couple
I have
from
some
there.
decent luck with them.
I need ones that have a little stretch.
I need a little stretch. I don't want that hard starchy jean.
I think there's Levi's has a a cut now that's pretty trendy right now, and I went into the store and I didn't feel like trying on, but it's not stretchy. I
Mm.
think it's like the rough kind of
Yeah, I
like
don't
jean,
like the
but
rough.
we'll see. I'm gonna try it on and see what I think. But it like digs into your side and stuff and just feels like
The other thing for
crunchy.
me is, like, I can't wear those super baggy jeans that are in right now. I
Well,
have
I think they're
just
going
don't
out
have the
actually.
body for that.
Well, don't worry, they're going out, so it doesn't
Well,
matter.
that's good because they are not flattering on many people. You have to have a very specific body type for those, in my
I feel the
opinion.
same way about like there's definitely clothes for like tall people and like when you're short and petite,
Mhm.
you like long skirts and stuff. I feel like freaking. Have you ever played Pac-Man?
Not really. I mean, I
The
have,
little
but
ghosts
yeah,
that
yeah,
go
yeah, the
across the
eating thing,
screen. That's
yeah.
what I feel like I look like when I'm wearing like a
Oh
long
my
flowy
god.
dress.
It
I'm
just
like, I
makes you
just so
feel,
look.
like, boxy.
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't look. I feel like you need to be long or something. But
Yeah.
so I need
No.
advice. I need advice on where we're shopping for some cute things here and there.
I agree, and it's a hard age to shop because you don't wanna dress, like, farty, but, like, you
No.
also, like, aren't 20, you know? It's
Yeah.
like a in between.
Yeah, I want just some like cool clothes.
Yes.
Artsy clothes. I want to look like the artist that I am and not just wear it in my hair.
Oh, you probably need boutique shopping then.
Yeah?
You probably need, like, specific boutiques that, like, have that type of look.
Well, my one friend does great, and I just haven't bought anything for her in a while, but she will recycle clothes, which I love. So she'll take things from like their stores, cut them up, and repiece them together.
Why don't we do that? Do you wanna go thrifting one day?
I was just gonna ask you if you ever go thrifting, and yes, I go thrifting.
I
I love
used to a
thrifting.
long time ago. I have not thrifted in so
Here's the
long.
thing: you need time.
You do need time, but maybe that would be a fun little video we could
Yeah.
do.
Okay. I like it.
Let's go thrifting. We'll
Let's
go
go
to a few
thrifting.
places and we'll see what we find.
I like it a lot.
All right. Um, I have another question for you. Let's talk about boundaries.
Oh yeah, my therapist was talking about this with
Okay.
me.
So talk to me about your therapist and the boundaries. So you started therapy, which is cool.
Yeah, and this is not a plug at all. A friend of mine suggested because I was like, it's expensive. We
Yeah.
spend all of our money on freaking dance and life, and she did that BetterHelp app, which is like all over social media.
Okay.
Um, it's still $60 a week. Actually, I got like a discount or something, or so it's like
That's
I don't know,
funny.
like
Here's a
50.
coupon for your mental health.
Seriously. So it's still an extra expense, but it's been great. I feel like I've been wanting to do it all my life because I'm just like, creative mind and it wanders and I'm curious and I try crazy things and
Do you meet with the same therapist every week?
yeah.
Okay.
So it's a Zoom and then she'll send like worksheets or like you can journal and they message you and it's
I
so
like
it's
that.
I'm not plugging for BetterHelp app. I think that's what it's called. I don't even know.
Yeah, but like
But
a
it's been a
telehealth
good
service. Yeah.
experience so far.
That's
And
great.
I think for people that maybe it's on the fence about it and you don't want to commit to like going in and seeing someone, you don't have the
Yeah.
time. This is on a Zoom app, super easy. They have a lot of things available for you. You can switch it out. It's relatively not expensive and you can apply for like a discount like help, financial aid for sure. So
So
like
what
my
have you
one friend
learned?
has I think it's like
Give
only
me a
39.40.
give me a lesson.
I don't know. Well, I'm different and it's hard to put your personal stuff out there, but I never considered like the first thing she had me do was my values,
Okay.
not morals.
What's the
Values.
difference between values and
I
morals?
think morals are based off like your belief system a little bit,
Okay.
what you've been taught. And I could be wrong about the definitions. You're like putting me on the spot. And I'm not gonna like terminology, but the values are more like what you find, what's important to you in your life.
Okay.
And she had like a worksheet. One was like freedom, one was being creative, one was health, one was family, one was love, one was, relationships, one was career, um, all that stuff. And so you rate it from like 1 to 10. And once you do that, then you have to reflect. Are you going through life putting the one that you put number 1, 2, and 3 always first? Or are you trying to
Mm.
juggle all those things all the time and now we're lacking here? And then that makes you feel bad because you're not doing what was most fucking cat butt was in my face. What you were doing that was most important to you. Like she always says, let's go
If
back to
this
your
cat
values.
jumps on me right now,
He's going
you
to.
better not. You stay right
He's
there.
so friendly, Dana. All he wants is love. It's all
I
about
know,
love.
but like,
Here you
no.
go.
Okay.
Trevor,
All right.
come get this cat.
All
So
right. So what were your most important values? I want to hear.
I forgot the list already,
Okay.
but I mean, obviously my first one was love,
Okay.
which is my relationship with my husband. The second one was my family, obviously like my children. And I think my third one was freedom. So
Yeah.
I'm someone, and I'm not sure if I've talked about this before, but maybe so. Like I never thought I was going to get married and have kids. Like I'm
Mhm.
definitely one of those people that like keep exploring, and I thought domesticating myself would sort of tie me down and not
Mhm.
be able to have that sort of freedom. So it's mainly the reason why, if you know me well, why I do all the crazy shit that I do because I'm still like I'm just so damn curious and I like exploring and just having the freedom to go do that without any boundaries. But
Mhm.
that is also not realistic to not have boundaries. And that's
Right.
a whole nother thing. We went into boundaries later. But so yeah, and then being creative, I think was like 4. And then Trevor was like, you, because I asked him to, I was like, I don't know what I value really. And he's like, well, I'm not going to help you on your worksheet. But he's like, you do care about health a lot.
That's true. You do.
And I'm like, I do.
You do.
So it's just an interest of mine. I love reading about like supplements and what
Yeah.
they do and nutrition and your sleep and the aging process and what workouts and stuff are good and functional working out, all that kind of stuff. So that's like the first maybe like top 4 or 5,
Okay.
which yeah, I found freedom
I
interesting.
think I'd choose similar ones other than creativity. That doesn't really, but I'm not
But like
valuing
a lot of
that.
people might put career and I didn't put that on
Oh,
there, which is
fuck no. Fuck
but some
that.
people, yeah, that is
I'll
their
never
life.
have a dream job because working's not my dream.
Yeah.
You know that like quote, like it's like never gonna happen. I don't understand that.
So if you would compare my weekly schedule, does
Are
it
you putting those
focus?
values
Are
there?
you putting the values there? No. Trevor and I barely have time for a date night. So it's
Really?
like
I
I
think you
need
guys
to
do really
we do
well.
well on the daily, but
Yeah.
remember there I said there's something to say about removing yourselves from the household.
True.
Like getting out away
True.
from
True. True. True.
responsibility.
Yeah.
We definitely spend a lot of time together. We have a great relationship in that sense. Like we wake up together, we have lunch
Yeah.
together, we work out together, we both work from home. But like I don't know, how do
Actual.
you make it even that much better?
Yeah.
You know, same thing with my kids. I don't see my kids as much as I want to.
I need to improve there.
Lately, me too. Lately, based off your inspiration and stuff, was like I did twice where I took the kids out, like with
Yeah.
just me and them time. And it wasn't a long time. We don't have that much time together, but it was definitely beneficial. But now life escaped us a little bit again. So I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I need to make sure once a week that I am sitting down with one of them and giving them my time, even if it's only for 20 or 30 minutes, like good time. Not on my phone, half listening, doing dishes, listening to them, like,
Yeah.
100%
Yeah. I read somewhere
attention.
kids only need like 15 minutes, but it has to be
Absolutely.
quality.
Absolutely. So what
So
about you? What
what
would you say like your
my
values are?
values? I would probably say like my relationship and children, like my family unit as a whole.
Yeah.
Um,
But you're not
freedom.
allowed to pick family as a whole. Like it should be like
Well, I'm saying
segment.
either or. Well, yeah, I mean they go together for me. Like for me, like me and John's relationship defines a lot of our family.
Yeah.
You know, so like working on both separately
Yeah.
and together.
Yeah.
Um,
I felt bad though. Like I was like, I wonder how many people are married with kids and didn't put that 1 or 2. Like, do you
yeah.
feel guilty about that? And
Well, I
that's
guess you
something where
have to own it at some point if you're going to
right.
therapy.
Right.
Yeah, no, for
Right.
me that's definitely tough.
And so that's why I was like, when I put freedom down for the 3rd one, I'm like, gosh, does that like contradict?
I think I'd put freedom too though.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. I think that's like kind of the reason why I like spontaneity. I'm going to say this word wrong. Spontaneity.
Spontaneity? I don't know. I don't know how to say
I
that.
think that's why I like being like spontaneous and
Yeah.
like I like going new places all the time and I travel. It's like my way of
Mm.
having freedom because
Because you've had kids since you were 20?
I've had kids and been married forever.
Yeah. I think all of us want to
Find me
feel
on the
that
swinger
way.
cruise one day.
Well, they say that. They say too, like a lot of times when people have like, and I'm not saying it's okay in any way, infidelity or affairs and stuff, is that person just wanted to feel alive for a second, just
Yeah.
wanted to escape for a second, just wanted to
Yeah.
have freedom for a second because we do get in this rut. We do get in this like monotonous, like,
Mhm.
you know what I
For
mean?
sure.
Thing and it's mundane thing. So it's like sometimes that freedom, we all just want to be seen. We all want to be validated. We all want
Yeah.
to feel for a freaking minute that we're not like a mom or a wife
Yeah.
or even like spreading yourself out too thin with all your friends and things like that and these expectations. And that's where the boundary thing came up. It was like I told her that I always am like afraid of like disappointing people. Like I always want to make everyone happy. And
Yeah.
so she's like, you're spreading yourself out too thin though. Like even my clients,
I
like
think a
pet
lot
sitting,
of
I want to say yes to all of them, even if
yeah.
that causes my family and my household stress because we're busy too. I'm always like, oh, but I want to help them,
Okay, so
or job.
boundaries.
Yeah.
What boundaries are you learning to put in place and for what?
To say no because if it doesn't, if my values, the first, ones that are happening or the ones that I want to focus on are not happening based off the fact that I don't have some boundaries, then we're not doing good here in life. There's an
Yeah,
imbalance. So,
that's a good one.
um,
And that's a hard one.
she was basically saying too, like, in life, people will be disappointed.
Yeah.
Whether it comes from you or someone else, this is a fact, and you
Mhm.
have no control over that.
Yeah.
So to worry about making someone happy or not someone happy, and mine was more like too in my job set. Like I'm
Yeah.
always wanting, I want to do good at the dance studio. I want to do good
Yeah.
as a fitness instructor. I don't want to disappoint my pet sitting clients. I want to make sure the paintings I create that people are paying money for are exactly what they want. And I think most people feel that way, right? But like you can't just fear that you might disappoint someone.
I think so much of what we do in life comes from fear.
Oh,
So
all
much.
of it. I thought that I was very like fucking evolved and I've done so much like spiritual work and
Yeah.
here I am digging through some layers that I didn't even know. Like I'm very much an expressive person and I've never really quote unquote cared what anybody thought about me. And I mean that more in the way of how I look,
Mhm.
how I present myself, but deep down in there, as far as the work I do and the jobs
The
I do,
person you are, the work
yeah,
you
I
do.
don't want
Yeah.
people to think poorly of me. And we were stemming that all the way
Totally.
back to like maybe school. I wasn't very good in school.
Mhm.
And I remember thinking people might not think that I'm smart. Therefore, this leads to my jobs. I want to be perfect at what I do because I don't want people to think that I'm not doing it well because then that means I'm not intelligent enough to like handle
Yeah.
this or handle that or make mistakes or whatever, you know? So it's so silly, but it all ties back to all that shit. And I'm like, oh my God, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you? What do you think would be a boundary that you think that you probably should put in place that maybe you don't?
Putting myself first.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. I
But you're doing more,
I'm doing
better.
more and I'm getting better at it. And I always go through waves. I've told you this.
Yeah.
Like for
And
me,
we
life has
do.
been seasons and
It's all
it's
seasons,
hard.
all the time.
It takes a lot. But yeah, just like putting myself and my needs first. I've always been, I don't know adulthood without motherhood. I
I
don't know
know.
adulthood without being a
It's
wife.
very much
I
your identity.
It's
And
my identity.
that's
Yeah, in a
why
lot of
different
ways.
explorations removed from that identity, I think, is so important for
Yeah.
everyone. I'm not saying you need to run away from being a mom or run away from being with your
No,
husband, but like
no.
you definitely should try things in life because it's
Mhm.
just going to add to, we're not, label identify with just that. There's
No,
so much more to
absolutely
us.
not. And it's difficult to not because
It's
it's one of
difficult
the
to
most
not.
important jobs that you're ever going to have in life is being a
Hmm.
mom. So it's hard to not to separate that
Or if
identity
you're in a relationship, trying to make that relationship the best that you
or
can.
trying to be right, exactly. But I mean, I've always been good at like balancing. I've always had friendships outside of my marriage. I've always like had girls' nights out. I've always like gone out and did stuff. We always travel without our kids at least
Yeah.
once a year. Like I always felt like we were doing a pretty good job of balancing, but still the day to day, you get like
Yeah.
lost in it all. You still get into, like you said, the mundane. And I'm someone who doesn't like mundane. John always says it scares the shit out of him
Me
because
too. I come home
I
with ideas all the time.
like the idea of, oh my God, it gives me anxiety thinking about like my days looking the same every day.
Oh, yeah, me too. I can't do that.
Freaks me the fuck out.
But then at the same time, I wanna be that person that lives off the grid and just, like, meditates all day too, so, I don't know, I'm torn with both identities there.
I know I'm torn with a lot of identities too, but that's part of me not wanting to settle for one identity. Like
Is
I
that just okay, we brought up I hate saying that, like, I'm classified as being ADHD,
yeah,
G, not GD, G,
ADHD,
whatever
the
that
new
is, because,
diagnosis.
I don't hate it, but, whatever. I was diagnosed that when I was younger, but never was on medication. I think we talked about this a
Yeah.
little bit. My parents put me in the arts and dance, which helped me flourish and utilize that kind of extra energy. So that worked for me. But as an adult, and I used to be better on my game, but now that we are very busy,
You're going all over the place right
I'm
now.
going I am going all the place. She was telling me it's like about time management,
Mhm.
basically.
I'm
So
bad at that.
that's my next little session. If you're wondering like what therapy's like, so we're values, boundaries. My next little session was like, okay, so why am I feeling overwhelmed? Why do I feel like I have to do all 10 of my hobbies right now? Why are we not prioritizing or saying for the next 3 months, I'm going to focus on my pole dancing?
Mhm.
Because I want to do that. I'm always like, she told me to make a list of all the things I want to do, and she's like, "Oh, girl," she's like, "You trying to do all that?" I'm like, "Yeah, almost every single day." And she's like, "No, no wonder."
I think that's my problem too. I wanna do all of the
Yep.
things.
And
John
I'm
always
like,
says
"How do
that
I
too. He's
choose
like, "You
though?"
feel like you're" I always feel like I'm running out of time in life,
Oh,
in
yes.
age, in everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "We need to do this, and we need to do this, and I need to do this," and,
Yeah.
like, I wanna experience I view it as a positive because I love life so much, and I
Yeah.
wanna experience everything life can give me. Like,
Yeah.
I eat that up. Like, I wanna do all of the things. But, like, on the flip side, there's a negative to that because I'm not in the moment as much as I should be.
Well, yeah, and our
I'm always on
society
what's the next? What's the next?
praises
What's the
people
next?
that can multitask, juggle billion things, busy, busy, busy. Like
Yeah.
our society praises that. They're like, "Oh, you work all the time, you get no sleep. Awesome. Drink coffee. Let's drink or whatever." Like we definitely hone in on the fact that like that is a good thing rather than being like, "Oh, it's okay that you don't have like 10 billion hobbies, you're not doing them all at once and you're like doing all
Yeah.
these amazing things." It's like you could still be okay just having like one and being
It's so
content.
hard. Like,
Like that
I'm the one that's on vacation, and I'm like, "Okay, we need to wake up. We're gonna do all of these." I'm packing. Whoa!
We are trying to make
I like that.
our podcast a strict
Yeah.
hour so that we
Yeah,
didn't
no, that's good.
bore people or whatever.
I'm the one that's on vacation that's like literally like packing in everything I could possibly do. And that's kind of
Yeah.
how I view life too, which again, I think is
I
a
do
positive and a
too.
negative.
I know, me too. I think great,
Because
and
we
that's
get
my
to just spend time,
personality
at
and all
least in
that
this
kind of
life.
stuff. But that's what she was saying too. Is that like, okay, so you're gonna do like 8 of these little things, but she's like, maybe you're not doing them all well. You're only doing at the bare minimum. You're not fully getting the full experience that you wanted to get out of it. She's like, why
Mm.
not focus on one or two or three things and do them well and
Yeah.
accomplish them well, and then
Okay.
move on to the next thing after you feel like that was done well. You know what I mean?
All right. So why don't we
I don't know.
give ourselves a little challenge?
What's our challenge?
We are going to figure out how to get our laundry fucking organized.
Oh no.
Okay, we're gonna start a system of one day for everyone in the house, and we're gonna come back and
Can we
report on
wait
it.
till competition season's over?
No, we need to learn how to.
We're
do
not
things
here
in
on the
chaos.
weekend saying
It
that.
doesn't matter. You have to learn how to do things in the chaos. I tell this to John all the time because life's always gonna be chaotic. If
God,
we
I
only
hope
get
not.
into a
I'm waiting
routine-
till I'm like 60 and I can have like a
Girl.
easy peasy life.
Well, that's a long time from now.
Don't say that.
And then I think the other goal is going to be like what you just said. I think that's a good idea. Let's focus on like a few things and just go hard at them for 6
Okay.
months. And then you move on to the next thing. And that's kind of what I told you about even like the podcast and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, let's go hard for 6 months and
Yeah.
see what happens. And then we could
See
always
what
revisit
happens.
things.
Do you guys like us?
I know.
Do you
Do you
love me?
Love me. Choose me. Pick me. Okay. Well, the last thing I wanted to talk about, and then we can wrap this up
Yeah.
really quickly because I know you find this interesting. You just actually, I was going to interrupt you, but I didn't.
Oh, please do. I love being interrupted.
So aging, right? You were
Yeah.
saying you enjoy learning about aging.
Yeah.
So I have been following this girl who studies aging, and it is so interesting. She's like a dermatologist and stuff. She
Okay.
looks freaking beautiful. Like,
Is she on TikTok?
Yeah.
Can you send her to me?
yes. So
Look
she
how
was
good I'm getting,
saying that
Dana.
we age at 3 stages of life very rapidly.
Okay.
And she said one of them is, and I want
I
to
know.
know
I'm
if it,
trying not to smile. I'm like, my smile line.
I want to know if this holds true to you. So there's 3 points in our early life that we age. Okay, so she's not talking about later. So your late 20s. So she said around 28 to like 31. That's gonna be the first time you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I look a little different.
Mm-hmm.
She said then it happens again, and she said this one's the most major one, is from 38 to 42.
Absolutely.
She said that's when people usually have like that crisis of I actually look different. She said that's when you'll start seeing jowls form. That's when you'll start seeing like your face changing. She's
Mhm.
like that's when like everything is like totally different.
Yeah.
And then she said it happens again like right in around your 50s.
Look at me smiling. Like, yeah. And I'm like,
I know. So what do you think?
what do you mean? You can look at me and see. Like, yeah. So when you're in your late 20s and 30s, like you said, that's the first time you're like, oh my God, like I have some smile lines
Uh-huh.
or something. And I'm like, but I still appear young.
Yeah.
Whatever, move on. And you'd
Yeah.
be like, I want to get Botox, but then you never do because it's not like crisis.
Right.
And then, yeah, like when you get to like your late 30s, 40s, you're like, oh, I now look like a 40-year-old woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know that was ever going to happen to me.
Okay, but you want to know what's really interesting? I think our view of aging is getting skewed, and I think that millennials, for
Of course it
example,
is.
you
So
know, they
fucked
always
now.
say millennials look like one of the youngest generations, but like it is so true. Like I was just looking at there is a picture of do you remember the show Cheers?
Yes. I never
Okay.
watched it. But
All
yeah.
right. Well, look at this
I think I've heard
picture,
of it.
and this is how old. Like, look at this picture. This is how old they were. Look at their ages.
Let
They're
me
like
see that.
all in their
Look,
like
Sam old side to scrolling.
okay, they're all in their 30s and they look so old. And it's so interesting that like that used to be the norm for 30s. And now it's like I feel
35.
like you see someone that
She doesn't look old.
not all of them, but like she does like it still looks older. How old was she? What did it say?
33.
Do
but
you
I don't
think
know
she
how
looks younger than me?
No.
Right. So like it's just so interesting that our views
Yeah.
are changing. And it's like
Yeah.
we've talked about this before, but what is it? Is it the Botox and filler? Is it the filters? Is it just us getting better at learning how to do our makeup and take care of our skin?
Better lighting.
Is it better lighting? Is it that we like tend to not people tended to dress older once they hit their 30s? Are we not dressing like that so we're not perceived like
Gotta
that?
be
Like
just all of it.
I know still to like a 20-year-old I'm going to look old.
Yeah,
But
I
like
don't think you do at all. I think it has to do also we are learning more about nutrition and health. I think that might be like the number
Yeah.
one thing. So like people are maybe not drinking as much, definitely not smoking as much. Getting
don't
better
you
rest,
remember
working out,
looking at old people and like if you think back now, they were probably only in like their 50s, but they seemed really old to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And then, yeah, there's definitely people that can now just get like plastic, like quick nip tucks,
Mhm.
and filler and Botox. But I feel like after a while, you can definitely see filler. Like
Yeah,
it
filler
makes your
scares me
face look like
actually.
really puffy and your
Yes.
eyes like go
And it could fall a
away.
bit.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
So like the best thing is that's why I talk about it all the time. It's just like let's just pull that shit back instead of fill it up. I don't know that I'll ever do it. And people have better bodies now, like they have their boobs done. We
Yeah.
have now people that are getting tummy
More
tucks.
exercise
They have
probably.
butt lifts now.
Yeah.
Most people have like either trainers
Yeah.
or we know way more about like nutrition
More
and
accessibility to workouts
yeah.
probably, like, online and stuff. I don't know,
And
it's just an interesting
with like
theory.
shapewear now,
Yeah.
like
I
tummy
think they always
control
had Spanx
leggings.
though and stuff. I just think it's an interesting
Davy and
theory
I's
that, like,
kid.
aging is changing and our perception's changing, and now, like, we are feeling like we look old, but, like, we really don't,
Yeah.
you know?
Every day that goes by, I'm getting better and better because I think no matter how much, which I've only done like filler like twice, no matter how much filler and Botox you do, you're still looking older. So I've come to the realization that like I look 40 and now 40 and up, I'll just look the best that I can for myself and stuff, but not
Yes.
hanging on to the fact that I want to look
Yes.
30. Whereas that when I was in my late 30s, I was trying to hang on to the fact that I want to look like I'm in
100%.
my early 30s. But
Yes.
now once you cross over into the 40s, you're just like, okay, I am a 40 like something year old and I'm going to continue to look older. I'll just try to do the best with what I have, I guess, because I'm not
Yes,
trying to
I think you
compare
can
myself to
still
a
look
20-year-old.
really good for your age, like,
Yeah.
and not necessarily have to it's okay to look your
Compared
age.
to like a younger
Yeah.
age. You're like, you guys do you. I've definitely been there. I've
Yeah.
definitely done that. And now it's your time to shine and
It's so
whatever.
weird, like, this year is the first time I've had anxiety about my age.
Yeah.
Like, I've
You
always
shouldn't.
felt very
This bitch doesn't sleep for like 2 days and she's like, oh, coming out. I would look like a fucking hag. I have to put those like eye patches, make sure I take my magnesium and I'm getting good sleep.
it's just weird, like, I feel like I don't know, I'm just like, "Oh, wow," like, I'm entering my mid-30s like, I don't know, I guess, like, I don't know. You're right, like, you try to hold on to those 20s. Like
You try to hold on to, I think, in your 30s looking younger. And then by
yeah.
the time you get to 40s,
You're
you're
just
like,
like,
okay,
"Fuck it."
I am an older lady now. There's skin that bunches weird now.
Yeah.
Like I have those like lines now from just crepey skin. Like
Yes.
my knees have like crepey
Mhm.
things over the top there. I just can't
Right, you
do.
can fix certain things, but there's
Yeah,
always gonna be
neck,
signs on your
hands.
body that
My
look
hands
older.
now are all
Necks,
wrinkly. Yeah.
hands, knees, all that, you can't
Yeah.
hide.
Oh, my eyelids go down a little bit more now than ever.
Mhm.
I'm like, "Whoa, what happened here?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Now I need an eyelid lift."
Yeah, it's tough. And then you go on social media and you see someone who's 35 or 40 or
Yeah.
45 and they've had so much work done and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, like
Or the
why don't I
filter's
look as
good.
young as her?"
Yeah.
Like
I just wanna be somewhere in between where I can be funny and still be me and have all those, like, flaws, but also wanna look good too.
yeah, I think it's okay to wanna look good.
Yeah, I do too.
I heard someone say if they had only $10 left, they would spend it on their looks. And the theory was that like the way you perceive yourself and if you feel confident
Yeah.
in yourself, the better you're going to be to the outside world. You're going to be more likely to have more
Yeah,
boundaries,
there's
you're going to
some
be more likely to go after successful things, you're going to be able to like be more confident and it changes everything. So she was like I wouldn't even use it towards anything else if I wasn't feeling good about myself, then nothing's going to fall in
Oh,
place.
right.
And I was like that's really interesting.
Yeah, and then I get really angry at myself and I zoom out big time and I'm like, "This is just a fucking meat suit."
I cannot hear you say meat suit.
It's a meat suit, and we have, like, a soul in there, and, like, none of this
And
matters.
we are on a big rock
Yeah,
floating through
doesn't
space
fucking matter.
and we could implode at any second.
Yeah, so
I
it's
bring it
like
back to death always.
I know, it's always death, and
It's
it's like
always death.
the end, we're like, "Tick, tick, tick," in Dana's brain every time capsule. It's like, you remind me of, like, the little sand thing that you flip over, and it's,
Yeah,
like, going down and down and down,
yeah.
and it's like, that's all she thinks about. But, yeah, then so when I zoom out and I think, "N it doesn't matter, we're just this meat suit, we're beautiful souls, peace, love, and light," then I'm like, if I zoom out and I'm on a rock and I'm this tiny speck in a multi-universe, then if I want fucking Botox, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
Because who the fuck cares anymore?
On the
What
flip
is
side
this
though
reality?
right.
What is this
I
illusion
don't know. I
anyways?
get really fucked up in my head when I start thinking that. When I went to NASA with Lily for
What is
her field
real?
trip,
Am I real?
I was having a crisis. I'm not even kidding you. I was
Yeah,
watching
when
this
you
stuff
realize
and I
how
was like,
insignificant we are in the multi-universe,
I just have so many
multiverse.
questions. Why did we stop going to the moon? First question. Second
Oh, is
question.
this like conspiracy theory stuff
I
now?
don't know, but like
I
we just
want it to
stopped.
be.
It was like 1971 was like our last time or whatever. And I'm like, why? That was a really long time ago. Like, why'd we stop going? Did
Because
we?
we probably have no business being there, okay?
But we still go to space. I
We have
just
no business there either.
I don't know. And then it's like,
If you can't breathe up there and can't exist without being in some fucking rocket ship thing, then we probably have no business. Like, we don't need to go down to the deep. I mean, I want to see what's
fuck
down there
the
in
deep
the deep
ocean.
Okay, that's
Fuck
where the
deep
aliens are.
ocean. No, no, no.
I think that's where the aliens
Nope,
are.
I
Have
don't
you
want it.
seen some of the creatures down there?
Yes.
They're fucking crazy looking, and they don't need
okay,
light.
If you had the
They don't even need light.
if you had the choice to go up in space or down to the deep ocean, what would you do?
Not the ocean. There's
Fuck the
motherfuckers
ocean.
that can eat you
Yeah,
down
that shit's
there or
scary.
swallow
I'd
you
go
or
up
take
to
you down to
space,
the dark
and
hole.
I'd float around.
I'd
and
rather
I'd-
die floating, I guess.
That's what I
and
would
be
love
blown up
that.
into little particles or something, but and be
Yes.
part of the stars. But
Yes, that's beautiful.
it is beautiful.
Yeah. No, screw the megalodons and the creepy little things.
I
down there.
know, but
I don't want
we
that.
don't need to be down there or up there, really. I mean, it's cool to. I know for educational purposes we need to like learn, but like, I don't know, man. We may not need.
Maybe
to,
we're exploring too deep.
Yeah.
We're gonna find things we don't want to find. Oh, I'm sure.
Although I do want to find out. I love finding out shit. Where like I love conspiracy theory shit. Like I want to know all the weird shit out there,
Yeah.
and I want to know why and who are they. We say they all the time. Who's controlling this world?
Who? I don't know.
Exactly. Something's in control. We wouldn't just be this dumb as a society without something controlling us. That's what I think.
Who do you think's controlling us?
I don't know, the people, the higher ups, the ones that have the greedy money, like people.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know.
By the way, I just saw that this woman put her husband in a suitcase because she said they were playing hide and seek together, and she took a video of him being like, "Stacy, get me out of here." And then she said she was drunk, so she fell asleep, and then she woke up and he was dead.
That's not true.
She left him in the suitcase, so he was breathing in his CO2.
No, I
he
meant
died.
her saying she forgot.
I know. Isn't that fucked up?
What does that have to do with the higher ups? They
It-
hired her to do it.
Maybe I have ADHD is what happens, okay? I have no idea. All of a sudden I started thinking about crazy shit and conspiracy theories, and then
Yeah.
I went to how I was watching that video. I don't know, my brain just worked that way, but isn't that crazy?
I think
And-
people are interesting for sure.
Yeah, it's just about people being weird.
I love people that are weird. I want to know why they are that way. I just like putting it all together like a little puzzle piece.
Yeah, it is.
Like
People
what
are
makes a
interesting.
serial killer a serial killer? What makes someone that's
Right.
really good at lying and like
Mhm.
being like a narcissist or a manipulator, whatever it is? Like what were you born that way? What happened to you when you were younger? Or like
Okay,
all that
so
stuff?
I have always had this fear.
We are going way over.
I know,
whatever.
this is the last thing
Wait,
I'm
do you have
gonna
to
say.
get Jack?
I've always had this fear that my kids were gonna grow up to be psychopaths. Like,
know.
no,
I
I'm
do
talking
too.
like I had this fear when I was a child. I remember
Oh.
being scared as a kid to give birth to another kid because, like, what if they wanted to kill me in my sleep? What if they were pathological liars? Like, it is
Yeah.
like my biggest fear ever. I
Yeah.
mean, my kids are showing no signs of any of that, but like, that shit's scary.
I know because you often hear from like serial killers that like
Yes.
they had the perfect upbringing and their parents were
I know, and you're like,
wonderful.
is that true?
Is that true?
Is that
How can that
true?
possibly be? But maybe some people were just born to be.
miswired?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Scary, scary stuff.
I think we're miswired. That's why we're doing this.
Probably. Well, on that
I'm
note,
just kidding.
I'm Dana,
This is Julie.
and this is Not Your Mom's Podcast. Make sure to subscribe and like so you can see our new posts every Monday.
Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
How you make it, how you wanna.
Thanks for
how you
listening. Make
wanna,
sure to
wanna
follow and
make it,
subscribe so you
how
can tune in
make
next
it,
week.
How you wanna, how you wanna make it.